What is good, YouTube? So welcome back. Today we have a very exciting vlog for you, something that I'm really excited about, a show day vlog. Now, well, I say that it's more of a show weekend, to be honest, because we're traveling up on the Saturday, shows on the Sunday. So going to take you through all the bits that we go through today. Things like obviously travel, sauna, tanning, prepping food for the next day, staying in the Airbnb, all of that exciting stuff, as well as then taking you along for my actual show day. So very excited to share this with you. Obviously, this is what I'm calling my return. I have not stepped on stage in 7 years. Annoyingly, I probably should have documented more of the journey, granted, but we're here now. So we're at the first show of two. So really excited, like I say, to take you through this. We're about halfway up. We're competing in Milton Keynes at a Gym Bodies show. Relatively small up and coming new federation. Don't really know too much about it, but I'm using this almost as like a warm-up sort of show to get ready for the PCA show, which is going to be the main and final show of the year. So we're aiming to we're trialing a few things to see about like peaking and how I'm going to bring my absolute best look, and trialing that at this show, ready then to make sure that we absolutely nail it come PCA show day in 2 weeks time. So I've already had my first meal of the day, which is 120 grams cream of rice and a bagel. Fluids are staying really nice and high for the minute, aiming to get about 7 litres in before 6 p.m. when I'll cut fluids. This is now meal number 2, which all I've got here is quite simply 200 grams of microwave rice, 150 grams of chicken, and then 60 grams of Rice Krispies. And then I've literally just gone and got a Americano with a splash of almond milk and a splash of sugar-free vanilla syrup. So we're just going to scram this down, get this down, and then we're going to get back on the road, eat again in another couple of hours, and then we'll send over check-in photos and updated body weight to the coach. From there, we'll kind of get told what we're doing for the rest of the day in terms of food and what it is that we're going to be eating. But we're going like moderate push-up at the minute, moderate carb load, not quite as aggressive as yesterday. Yesterday I had 750 grams of carbs in, but somehow body weight still managed to stay exactly what it was from the day before. So we're continuing to load with very minimal expenditure, very minimal steps, and obviously not training or anything like that. So we'll see where we lie around midday, and I will catch up with you the next time I eat, I guess. So you may or may not have seen a few little snippets from things like the sauna, etc. Basically, I didn't have a chance to stop and film. We were running a little bit behind, so this is obviously the next time you see me talking. In terms of like food, I've had 2 meals that are basically the same, to be honest. Chicken and rice with then some cream of rice, roughly around 100 grams of carbs in both. Took some check-in photos and looked to see what my body weight was, and we're up by about 2 kilos ish, drying out really well. Coach basically turned around and told me dryness isn't going to be an issue. We're drying out very well. What we have to be careful of is we don't drop fullness, which is why we had a little bit of a bump in my 4th meal. That was only supposed to be about 60 grams of carbs, so we bumped that to 100. Just quickly arrived at the Airbnb. Again, I might put a few little snippets of that in. I had to just take them on my phone, same with the sauna, just because we were in a bit of a rush. So dumped our stuff, got sorted, and have come down now to get a tan. We are currently at Wave Down Gate Pavilion, which is a little kind of hall, I believe, that's not too far away from the venue. So just waiting around now because I've actually managed to claw back some time, get ahead of schedule. So we're here 15 minutes early. I'm going to go in, get tan. Obviously, I can't document the tanning process because there's going to be a load of guys and girls that are stood near on stark bollock naked. I've basically got to put a cock sock on and stand in a room for 45 minutes while they tan me. 2 coats of tan going on. But I will catch up with you in the next one once I'm out of here and give you a rundown of what it is we're going to be doing for the rest of the evening, a little bit of a breakdown on what's expected to happen tomorrow, and then obviously show off the tan and stuff as well. And then the next thing will be show day. We'll be waking up on show day, which once we wake up, checking photos, see what the coach is saying, and then we will go from there, and I'll keep you all updated. Okay, so the tan is on. Just got that on, drove back, had to pick up a couple bits from Sainsbury's, which luckily is literally like 30 seconds away from the Airbnb, which is an absolute touch. So if I have to get anything in the morning, I can literally walk over there in less than 2 minutes. Water has now been cut because I was in there till about 6:30. So water got cut at 6. So actually we ended up cutting water a little bit early at like 5:30 because that's when I was getting my tanning done. So obviously I couldn't have anything to drink while I was tanning. Final meal of the day now going in. I've got 65 grams of cream of rice in here, along with 50 grams of blueberries, 30 grams of whey, and 20 grams of 80% Lindt dark chocolate. So I've just got this, which I'm kind of splitting this final meal down a little bit. I'm having my carbs now, and then in about 15-20 minutes, I've got 2 eggs left to go. Like I say, water has now been cut, so I'm limiting myself to 500 ml across this final meal, which is, I've already got 300 ml in here, so literally 200 ml for the rest of the evening, with then a glass of dry white wine in a second. But like I say, I'm gonna eat this now, and then in 20 minutes or so, I'm gonna go and make 2 fried eggs. I think is probably what I'm gonna want to do with the eggs. Either that or I could potentially make an omelette. Haven't quite decided yet, but I'll obviously take you with me as we go through that. So one other thing actually, forgot to mention, sodium is now not cut but reduced. So we're going for 50% of what I'd normally put on. So I put literally like 1 grind of salt in here, whereas normally I'd go quite heavy with that. And then because I'm going to save the salt basically for the eggs. Now with the reduction in carbohydrates, because I've been having about 100 grams of carbohydrates per meal for the last 4 meals. So with the reduction in carbohydrates, an increase in fat along with fluid drop, it's just basically going to mean we're going to flush out water pretty well from this point. Because when we eat carbohydrates, that requires us to uptake water to be able to absorb those carbohydrates. So that's going to mean that we retain water a little bit more, because you're having to drink to like I say, to uptake that, which isn't bad to an extent because a lot of it will be pulled into the muscle. But where we're trying to pull out sub-Q water tonight, we want to, like I say, basically move to far less carbohydrates and then mainly fats and protein for the final meal. This will just, like I say, allow us to dry out that little bit more. Final lot of diuretics will go in tonight, and then hopefully, touch wood, we should wake up nice and full with also being nice and dry in the morning, and then it's just about kind of maintaining that look. The approach that we're going for tomorrow is trying to be as minimal as possible. So that obviously is very much dictated by how we wake up and then how we hold up throughout the day. But we want to try to keep as minimal food in the stomach as possible, because I always find I definitely lose my midsection a little bit throughout the day. Some people are able to eat throughout a day, like even just a regular day, and they still stay quite tight, like through their midsection, as long as they're like eating in a deficit. I don't. I always find for me, start of the day compared to midday is complete night and day. Like I'm always so much tighter through my midsection in the morning. So it's just about trying to find that balance of keeping that midsection tight, keeping nice and dry, but then also not dropping too much fullness as we're drying out. Show treat. Don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. Joe, my coach, has told me I'm allowed to eat food. tomorrow. I can have a decent meal in me. So my lovely girlfriend has made me a couple of Biscoff cookies, which I'm very much looking forward to chowing down on one of those as soon as I get off stage. But then obviously, don't know what time we're going to be done, but likely to be the afternoon. So we've got a 4.5 hour drive home. Like I say, Joe's told me I can eat some food, eat some good food. So we have looked, and there is a Five Guys about half an hour away from the venue. So Five Guys may be on the cards. I've also, like I say, made this big bowl of oats because if I decide that I don't want to do that, then I might have this on the way home instead. Basically, 120 grams of oats in there, along with a couple of teaspoons of Biscoff spread in there, blueberries, and some whey over the top with some caramel dessert sauce sprinkled on it as well. So looking forward to having that. Like I say, don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet when it comes to food. I'm just going to gauge it on the day and see how I feel. At the minute, food focus isn't that bad. I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, I really would love to go and eat a burger and whatever, because I know that I've got 2 weeks after this and then I'm done. So see how depleted I feel, see how tired I feel, how hungry I feel, because tomorrow, like I say, there's a good chance that I'm not going to be eating a lot. So now we're just going to move on to, oh, this thing does my head in. Now we're just going to move on to cooking the final meal of the day. We've just got 2 whole eggs with, I'm going to put like 3 or 4 grinds of salt on those. Again, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with the eggs. I don't know if to have an omelette. I don't really want scrambled. I don't know whether to do an omelette or whether to just have 2 fried eggs.
Probably have 2 fried eggs, and omelette would just be really bland.
Well,
you normally have it with veg and stuff.
Maybe. But 2 fried eggs doesn't sound all that appealing either.
It's not great.
No. Unless I made 1 mini omelette and then 1 fried. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not faffing with that.
No.
I'll tell you what. I'll get back to you in a minute when I decide. Okay, decision has been made, been talked into it. Go with 2 fried eggs just because it's nice and easy. And like Bryony pointed out, I don't actually have any sauce or anything like that with me, because I just try and minimise that side of things when it comes to actually being on show day. I feel like, to be honest, like I said, sauces and things like that don't really need to be had on show day. They're fine during prep and even during peak week, as long as you keep them minimal. But yeah, on show day, I just want everything as basic as possible so that we minimise any chance of kind of getting anything wrong. So just going to do 2 fried eggs, runny yolks. Those runny yolks will act as a sauce so that it's not too dry. So that is the plan. If we can figure out, I think this is working. Yeah, we're good. So that's heating up now. Yeah, no, it's talc from the tannin. So basically, once they put the tan on, they let it dry for a little bit, and then to speed up the drying process, when you're like halfway there, they come around and dust you with talc, just like very, very minimal, just to help to speed it up a bit and make sure you don't get sticky.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she had me doing all sorts. Like, it was not pretty in there. She got very, very well acquainted with me in every orifice of my body, I can't lie to you. Like, at one point, she told me to stand here, bend, then she told me to spread my legs, bend my knees, and bend back. I swear, honestly, she must have been her nose must have been about this far away from my arsehole. And she's touched every single ounce of my body, other than my
cocksock.
Yeah, other than my cocksock. That area was left alone. So but I did feel like I got a bit more special treatment than some of the other guys, I tell you. She spent a bit longer on me. She definitely had me bent over a bit longer for sure, like without a doubt.
Just with the view of your arsehole.
Oh yeah, she loved it.
Oh.
It was a very pretty bum hole. So bad. I've been told.
Oh.
They should be lovely. Nice and runny. It's a good pan as well, no sticking at all. Alright, so turn that off. There we go. Put a little bit of salt on this bad boy. Golden. Final meal of the day. 2 eggs. Gonna wash it down with about 6 tablets because the natural diuretics are going as soon as I finish this meal. And then I'm gonna wash it down with a nice glass of dry white wine. I say that, I know a lot of people like wine, but I'm not a fan. But day before show, it's a must.
This one's not so bad though.
No, the one we've got is definitely the best of a bad situation for sure. It's not too bad, but like I say, it's a must before. Damn it! That teach me. It is an absolute must before show day. Not because of actually like the effects of it, just because psychologically I feel like it helps me. It kind of wets the whistle when you can't drink and when you're feeling dehydrated, so you still feel like you're drinking. Plus, like I say, I've got to get 6 tablets down me. I am not raw dogging 6 tablets with no liquids at all. So we'll go eat this. Look at this bad boy. And I said nice and runny. Oh, to perfection. Oh, banging. Now that is how you cook eggs. If there's one thing I do well, and one thing that you learn as a bodybuilder, it's how to cook food. Not necessarily always the most exciting food, but you learn how to cook the basics. The chicken, the rices, the eggs, the oats. You learn how to make them damn good, because when you're cooking them every single day and you're making 6 meals a day for like years and years and years, you kind of have to pick up a thing or two. Otherwise you end up eating the most bland stuff. That's what I always say to people like with preps or anyone that struggles to diet. My number one diet tip and number one diet hack is learn how to get adventurous with foods when it comes to, like I say, try different things, like loads of different seasonings, different ways of cooking things. Yes, you can't go adding all sorts of extravagant things into your meals because you'll have a meal plan to follow, but learn how to get good at cooking healthy, nutritious foods that are actually going to serve a purpose for you. Learn what spices to add to what that you really, really enjoy. Like for me, a go-to at the minute is cinnamon. I absolutely love cinnamon at the minute. Put that on my oats. And then, yeah, with my chicken, I use butter chicken seasoning, a little bit of that. I've been using that the whole way through prep. Like, and a lot of people will be like, oh, well, the butter chicken seasoning, that's probably not like the best thing for you. But as long as you keep it the same, it's seasoning. It's such minimal in it. And like I say, I've managed to use it the whole way through my prep. The only day that I haven't used it is today. Today's the first day because we're, like I say, this close to a show. I like to not put anything like that in it, just in case it can cause any issues with the look on the day. But you can still get in incredible shape while still really, really enjoying your foods. Like, I look forward to every single meal that I eat. So that's number one tip. Now I'm going to sit down, enjoy this, allow Bryony to sit down for a minute with me. We are currently watching Lufa in this really, really cozy little apartment. We did have, so underneath, yeah, we've had to change the bedding because I don't want to ruin the bed sheets. Underneath the TV, that's actually an electric fire, which is looks really, really nice and makes it really, really cozy. Problem is, it's also heating, so it makes it really toasty, and I'm trying my hardest not to sweat right now because even in that kitchen it's warm because I've been cooking. So like I say, I'm going to allow Bryony to sit down, relax. We're going to sit down together. We're going to stick on this movie. I'm going to eat these eggs, have a nice glass of wine, and just relax for the rest of the evening now, and just enjoy the last the last supper, as it were, the last night before we go to battle tomorrow. The hard work's done, so now we sit down and soak up the rewards.